Progressive overload 101. Simply put, progressive overload is just improving, making progress in the gym. It can be done by weight lifted, reps performed, and sets completed. It's a relatively easy concept to understand. Once you hear it, I'm just here to introduce you to it. The goal of progressive overload is to increase the total volume of workouts over time. The more total volume your body is able to handle over time, the stronger your body will become. Total volume of workouts is calculated by multiplying the weights used by the reps performed by the sets performed. As any of those three factors is increased, the total volume of your workouts increases. Doing that over the course of weeks and months and years will lead you to making slow, steady, sustainable progress over the long term. 3 types of progressive overload. The first one, weight lifted. This is an obvious one for most people. When you can do X amount of weight with relative ease in the gym, obviously you should bump it up a few pounds. Here are a couple of tips for this one. When doing a lift that involves bigger muscle groups, like the chest, the back, and the legs, you should be able to make bigger weight jumps versus when you are doing something like dumbbell curls with your smaller biceps. Number 2, when making weight jumps, think about the percent of jump you are making. So if I make a 20-pound jump on my 350-pound deadlift, that's going to feel a lot different than adding 20 pounds to my 30-pound curls. Secondly, reps performed. For a lot of exercise, I like to aim for a rep range rather than exact rep. Why I do this is because it lets me know when I'm able to move up in weight rather than just using a singular rep. So, for example, if I give myself a goal to do a dumbbell bench press for 8 to 10 reps, and I only get 8 reps this week, next week I'll shoot for 9, the following I'll shoot for 10. Once I hit the top end of that rep range with X amount of weight, that's when I know I can bump up the weight and restart that process. Another way this can be done is through time. So the time of a plank, the time of a wall sit, etc. Adding time to each of those exercises is a form of that progressive overload. Third, sets performed. So this is in connection with reps and weights, but as the third and final element, total sets performed. When you start training, most people use a 3 sets times 10 reps model because it is basic and is what most people use. But here's what happens when you add an extra set to your workouts. If I do 3 sets of 10 reps of 100 pounds on the bench press, the total volume I lifted was 3 times 10 times 100, 3,000 pounds. But if I add another set to my workout, I would add another 1,000 pounds to my workout. You can see how this can exponentially add total volume to my training sessions. Now be aware, adding too many total sets to a single workout can provide the body quite a wake-up call the next day, as it increases the total volume of a workout significantly more than just by adding in a couple of more reps and a couple of weights. And I will be controlling the amount of sets that you perform. So just give me a heads up if you think your body is ready for some more sets, but do not go completely off the rails yourself. An overview. So progressive overload is the only way to get stronger in the gym. People may come up with other fancy ways to do it, but that's how it's done. Bands, chains, all of this types of stuff. You are literally just always adding weight, adding reps, or adding sets forever and ever. You'll be going through 6-week training programs. Typically, people switch programs between anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks, so we find somewhere in the middle ground here. The longer, the better in program, as it gives you a longer period of time to progress at all of the exercises done. Once a new program is started, you will quote-unquote start from scratch and repeat the same progressive overloading principles for the next 4 to 12 weeks. Other forms of progress, but not really progressive overload, is by using tempo. So both of the workouts and of the repetitions themselves. So if you are able to finish a workout more quickly over time by not needing as much time for rest periods, I would suggest bumping up the weights used so that you need the whole rest times between sets. Or B, it could mean that you are needing to add some additional sets to your workout to get some more volume in. And the other way is when you perform any exercise, you can just kind of like perform it, like you do the squat, you row the row, whatever the case may be. But if you are able to control the exercise or weight for more time than you previously had, so for example, if I use 50 pounds on my squat at a normal tempo, so I just go down and I come back up, and I feel good about it, I may pause at the bottom for a couple of seconds, or I might slow the downward motion of the squat or the upward motion of the squat. So upping the time under tension of a movement can be a great way to show, progress and getting stronger, but it's not, technically that progressive overload. If you have any questions about this, please let me know, but this should be a good enough information to use, in the gym once you get started with all of your workouts to, help you adjust weights, adjust sets, different things like that. Thanks.